Welcome to the Beyond the Food Weight Loss Summit. Get to your optimal healthy weight with holistic strategies and systems. My name is Pamela Pedrick. I am the creator and the host of the summit, and I am a registered nurse and a certified health coach. And I help women who work in healthcare to go from burnt out, exhausted, unhealthily overweight, and eating their feelings to rejuvenated, energized at their optimal healthy weight and no longer eating their feelings. I help them to break the chains of dieting and emotional eating so that they can stop surviving and start thriving. That's right, hashtag freedom. I am the creator of the 3-pillar personalized weight loss method. I have brought together speakers who will be sharing with you their holistic strategies and systems that will help you to get to your optimal healthy weight for your unique body. What they will be sharing with you tackles every facet of the weight loss equation. Get to your optimal healthy weight with holistic strategies and systems. This summit will help you to save time from doing things that don't work and won't work, time that you can be spending with your precious family and doing the things that you love, and to free you from the endless cycle of yo-yo dieting. So let's get to it. Welcome back to another episode of the Beyond the Food Weight Loss Summit. Today's speaker is John Ossipinsky. Today we're going to be talking about managing the negative effects of COVID, anxiety, chronic fatigue, brain fog, and weight gain with lymphatic system detoxification. John is also known as the Lymph Man. He is an author, lymphatic system health coach, medical intuitive, and health innovator. John has studied and worked with the lymphatic system for over 27 years. He uses the lymphatic system to help clients with their pain, stress, anxiety, depression, insomnia, weight gain, chronic fatigue, brain fog, cognitive problems, weak immune system, and digestive and skin issues. So welcome, John. So happy and excited to have you here. And boy, what a host of illnesses and disease states that lymphatic system plays a huge role in.
Yeah, it's amazing, Pamela, that if you ask people about the lymphatic system, unless they've had cancer, many people don't even know they have one. And so we have a system in our body that's meant to clean us. It's meant to move around our immune cells, and we ignore it. And not only do the public ignore it, Dr. Oz says, he wrote this in the year 2000, that the lymphatic system is ignored in medicine, that it's the next frontier. That's 22 years ago. And I can tell you that the lymphatic system will not be something you hear of when you go to your doctors, because it's just out of their realm. They just don't think of it unless you have cancer, edema, like lymphedema from cancer surgery, or lipedema, which is really rampant now. Women mostly are just swelling.
Wow. So John, I'm curious, because this is something that you don't really hear about in the medical community, let alone when it comes to weight and overall health. So I'm curious, how did you come to work with the lymphatic system and realized its importance to improving health and healing?
You know, I'm a retired New York City firefighter and a contractor, the general contractor. I moved to Arizona. I took a massage class and then learned from 3 world-renowned doctors. Dr. Upledger on craniosacral therapy, many people may have heard of or received. Dr. Burrell from France on the organs, how to release your organs because they get stuck. And then really what moved me the most was Dr. Chickley. He wrote a 460-page book, and I'll just show that to you here. That's a picture of your lymphatic system, what's right under your skin. And his book is Silent Waves, Theory and Practice of Lymph Drainage Therapy. He's a pioneer in the field. He doesn't just talk about edema. He talks about how the lymphatic system can help every system in the body. And if we know that the lymphatic system can clean every system, that means it has a role in every disease. So it's my passion. I've spent the last 28 years or more studying this system, doing research, and I can tell you it's being missed in medicine is hurting us from when we're in the womb to as we age without our ability to have memories. So if we can understand a system that cleans cellular waste, then we can have a better chance of overcoming an illness, having a vibrant life, and living and retiring and enjoying your life instead of running to doctors and all your health problems, which what happens to most people. I just heard something the other day, I read something the other day in an article saying that 50% of us will die with a diagnosis of dementia. That doesn't mean we'll die of dementia. That means we're going to have a diagnosis of it, meaning our brain is having a problem. And that's horrific. So people, as they age, are not able to enjoy themselves. And I believe if we understood the lymphatic system, that we can really have healthier children, healthier pregnancy, enjoy our life without anxiety and depression, without having skin issues, digestive issues, or lowering our risk of cancer. And that's really what it's all about. Understand the lymphatic system, be more aware of it so you can have control over your life and not just wonder why you're filling with inflammation.
So John, I'm curious, why is it that we really don't hear about the lymphatic system? Like you said, it's so true. We go to our doctor, we get our checkups, maybe some blood work, but you never hear them address lymphatic system or drainage. Why is that?
It was always missed in medicine because they couldn't see it. It's a very subtle system, but it is just like your blood circulatory system. It's just a one-way river. And in the last 10 years, a lot of has come out where they can image it, they can do transplants of it. So there's a lot of important things coming out, but they still just focus on lymphedema or cancer, when really, in reality, our lymphatic system is not cleaning our body and the brain, creating every health problem due to cellular waste. And when I mention cellular waste, it's really just the dead cell material that's building in your body like log jams in a river. They call them senescent cells or zombie cells. It's just cells that are no longer viable, that aren't being picked up by your lymphatic system, and they just decay and they erode the cells around them and kill them. And that brings in an immune response, and that immune response is your autoimmune diseases. So when our lymphatic system can't clean up this damage, it just builds into inflammation and really just is devastating our health, and no one sees it. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's almost as if autoimmune disease is on the rise. And you hear, like, for me anyway, I hear so many people who have an autoimmune issue, but yet, they're not aware of the importance and the role that lymphatic system, can play when it comes to that. So, when it comes to the disease states that we had mentioned in the opening here, and even weight loss, why is it important to help with weight? And also in these times, because we're still kind of dealing with the pandemic with some COVID going around, why is it important for both of those?
Well, number one, in 2005, 2 studies linked fat and obesity to damage lymph vessels. They took mice, they damaged the PROX1 gene, which makes healthy lymph vessels, and many of the mice succumbed. And the ones that lived became obese because their lymph system had leaky the vessels and holes in it. It couldn't pick up the fluid and waste. So if you're having problems with weight, you have to know it's not just you have to go on a diet, you have to get your lymphatic system going. And stubborn weight has been found to be due to inflammation. And most people don't know what inflammation is. It's just a waste that's building in your body. And we can have direct control over that. So it's something with COVID, especially. I published work 17 years ago on how most disease is due to the buildup of cellular waste in the body. Because if we have a system that's meant to clean us and we're ignoring it, then we're going to fill with cellular waste, especially if we know we have one little vessel on either side of our neck that has to handle the waste and fluid and from thousands of lymph vessels. So when we get tight in our neck, we slouch a little bit, we just stop our lymph system. And most people really have a congested lymphatic system, and we're just slowly filling up with waste, and that's affecting our cellular health. But with COVID, again, I published work on how most diseases due to buildup of cellular waste. In the last 2 or 3 years, type 2 diabetes, anxiety, depression, insomnia, osteoarthritis, arteriosclerosis, breast cancer, lung tumors, heart failure, MS, Parkinson's, Huntington's, ALS, and schizophrenia, even the menopause has been linked to the buildup of cellular waste. So that's exactly what I wrote. And now with COVID in my program, we show how COVID is creating, all science has come out saying that COVID is creating more Parkinson's, more anxiety, more depression, more seizures, more strokes, even more tinnitus. So because of cellular waste, because the viruses fills the body and it complicates or congests the lymphatic system, which shuts you down. It's a secondary system that must flow. So that's why people are having long haul COVID, big problem with anxiety and chronic fatigue and brain fog, and more people are having strokes. And I see it in my, in my business. I see more younger people having strokes because we're filling with cellular waste. But the thing to understand is that your doctors don't acknowledge the lymphatic system. I'm not against doctors. I believe in doctors. I have a health problem, I'm going to go to a doctor. But when I want to get healthy, I'm going to work at it myself and use what I learned from the doctors and put steps into place. But really, most of our health problems are due to the buildup of cellular waste, which makes us inflamed and damages our cells. And we can have direct control over that by changing your diet, doing some exercise, taking some basic supplements, and learning how to use your hands to maintain your system, similar to dry brushing. Everybody talks about dry brushing.
Yeah.
And there are things online and people tell me, oh, I found something online. I go and look at it. I don't know what these people are doing. But we have to understand that we have direct control. It's a system that has a certain way it's supposed to flow. And I've not seen a person do a good dry brush. And I've asked people for 26 years. So most people could do, oh yeah, I do this. And that's all they know how to do. Where we should be learning how to drain inside of our mouth, our eyes to help our brain, drain our neck, face, and head to help our brain and our face, our skin, drain your breast, your arms, your legs, your abdomen. I mean, we can create circulation in any part of the body. Before I learned about this, I was pretty sick. I had irritable bowel syndrome all my life. I was 47 when I finally realized I had to take care of myself. I was starting to have heart palpitations. My hair and beard were falling out. My restless leg syndrome was horrible. As soon as I sat down at night, my legs would start bothering me. My hands and back would spasm. And I owned a medical massage clinic. So I was just toxic and didn't realize it. Within 30 days of realizing I had to maintain my own lymphatic system, everything changed.
Oh,
my
wow.
brain popped, my hair stopped falling out. Over a few months, I lost 70 pounds. I mean, I have people who can't lose weight for years, sometimes decades. Once they start acknowledging the lymphatic system and maintaining it, they begin to lose weight. It's real science.
Well, wow, it's amazing. You said within 30 days, you saw improvement.
30 days. And most people who join our program, I mean, and I don't just see people I see people who are desperate, who are like, have been trying for decades. They've been in bed for months and they've had problems since they were 6 years old. And within a few weeks, they're feeling better because their lymphatic system was congested. We helped them open it up. And it really, I see it over and over again. It changes lives. It's just, we can't ignore a system that's meant to clean our body and our brain. Every organ, every tissue, has to be cleaned, and it's not. And we always thought that the lymphatic system handled 15%, a small portion of the waste in the body. And it was pretty important then, right? Now we know, we just heard from some experts that it's the major system that must clean your brain and body of cellular waste, fluid. And this is why we're all so sick. So if you have a family, wouldn't it be nice to be able to teach your children how to eat a little bit better, how to maintain their lymphatic system so they wouldn't have diseases like we are all suffering with anxiety? Every household has some type of mental health issue. It's crazy. It's because we've missed the lymphatic system. So really, I don't know where I'd be if I didn't understand this science. I probably wouldn't be here. I honestly believe that. I was very, very, very sick at that time. And it's work. It's not just, oh, do a detox and you clean up. It's, we fill with 500 million cells every day on a good day. And take steroids, antibiotics, or you're on medications, you eat a bad diet, you already have some inflammation, you're going to have a lot more cellular waste. And your doctors really don't acknowledge it.
Wow. Now, you'd mentioned COVID and the role the lymphatic system and drainage plays a role in that. Now, we know, with COVID, a lot of people who were hit with it, they were on oxygen. They had low oxygen. So why is having that hypoxia, that low oxygen with COVID, a big problem that can limit detoxification?
I'm glad you brought that up because it is very important to understand hypoxia. And it's not just people who are hospitalized. Studies have shown that hypoxia, number one, is low oxygen in the body. So when you have inflammation in your body at a severe degree, when you get the virus, right,
Mhm.
your body becomes very toxic. It can't hold oxygen. Your body cannot hold oxygen in red blood cells when it's toxic. So your body sends out in the response a bunch of immature red blood cells. And this is science. It just came out a few months ago. It sends out all these immature red blood cells to flood the body to hopefully get oxygen. But immature red blood cells can't hold oxygen.
Mhm.
So now your body's filled with these cells plus the viral cells, and your body just shuts down. Your lymphatic system shuts down. And that is what's affecting people. And even though it's affecting people with long haul COVID, my wife just showed me an article a few weeks ago, and I wish I would have saved it, that a third of the people who get COVID go on a few months later to have other unrelated health problems.
Interesting.
They're related. We're filling with cellular waste. And
Mhm.
I wrote a work on how most diseases do to build up a cellular waste, and it's all come true. So people have to really understand the lymphatic system if you want to be able to have a vibrant life and overcome an illness. Without it, it's difficult, and that's why most people struggle.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned that COVID does affect production of hormones. What happens? How does that happen?
Well, if you think about it, we have many glands in our body: your pituitary, your pineal gland, your thymus, your thyroid. We have many glands in our body. Even some of our fat cells can make hormones.
Yeah.
If your lymphatic system, which cleans every system in the body, it is inside your thyroid, it is outside your thyroid, it is inside and outside every organ, every blood vessel. So when we become toxic, the lymphatic system shuts down, or when we become shut here, the lymphatic system starts to slow down, and we slowly fill with cellular waste. That can happen in your whole body for people who have whole body pain, where you can barely touch them and they're really have a lot of pain. Or it can happen in one part of your body, like your fingertip or one organ, wherever you have least circulation. And that's what most disease comes to. So if you want to improve hormones, and I know that's what this is a lot about this in this summit, we have to understand what makes hormones. It's the glands, and we have to get circulation going through them. Because, right, think about it. Your thyroid is right next to your major lymph vessels. This is your major lymph vessel, one on either side. Your thyroid is right next door. It's the first organ to be affected by the lymphatic system not being able to clear it of waste. So it fills up, and you'll have either hyper or hypothyroid, or you'll get a goiter, which is swelling. And it's something that, and even if you've had a thyroid removed, or you had, you no longer have a thyroid because you've been on medication and it's shrunk away, wouldn't we want to open up this area? It is where your major lymph drain is. So even if you've had thyroid issues, you have to learn how to drain this area to, again, everything in your head and in your body must flow to here. And when it can't, then certain areas of your body are going to suffer.
Yeah. I know, working with women with, getting to their optimal healthy weight, a lot of times it's, I just don't have the energy. I have the brain fog. Is it all related to just we're not draining the lymphatic system? We're not just getting the drainage in?
Yeah, it really is. Every health problem, it's just the idea that brain fog, they know, is about cellular waste building between your neurons. Your neurons send a message between junctions. They have an open junction between neurons. It's very quick, sends a message. Well, if there's a bunch of junk in there, you start getting a little brain fog. You get more junk in there, you start getting more serious cognitive problems. So understanding how to clear cellular waste from the brain is, 2015, they found lymphatic vessels in the brain. Before that, they've always said there are no lymphatic vessels in the brain. Don't even think about it for mental illness, for anxiety, depression, for dementia. Don't even think about the lymph system. Well, we've always known that there were lymph vessels around the brain that we can use. And now in 2015, they found a direct lymph-brain connection. All the newspapers and articles came out in big magazines. This will change the face of mental illness. What happened? They don't know what to do with this system.
Yeah.
I've worked with this system for 28 years, and once I learned to start teaching people a little more to maintain themselves, even though I always got good results, but my clients were able to better maintain themselves longer when I showed them how to use diet, supplements, and how to use their own two hands to maintain their lymphatic system. Everyone should know how to do this.
Yeah. Now, is it something, getting that cellular waste out of our system, is that something we should be doing like every day? Like, how often and how do we do that too?
Yeah, I'll show you a little bit on the major lymph vessels, and then we'll do the lymph man shoulder shuffle. I deal with not just people with lymphedema, I deal with people with diverse health problems. I mean, they've just been struggling. So some people may need to do it once or twice a day. Some people may need to do it twice a week.
Mhm.
Right. But there are other things besides just drainage that we teach you. What I tell you, if you give yourself 5 to 10 minutes a day of maintaining and being aware of your lymphatic system, your life will change. Because a lot of busy professionals are like, I don't have time to take a course. I don't have time to do this and learn this new thing. Well, that's what I'm here for. I'm the expert. I'm going to shorten your curve. And within a couple of weeks, your life is going to change. I see it over and over and over again. And it's just science that's missed, missed science. It's crazy.
Wow. So we got these lymph nodes that are all over our body, and you showed that picture of like where it's all at, but the doctors really don't address it because they don't know what they don't know, right? So how can we potentially be an advocate for ourselves when it comes to our health and maybe trying to lose that excess unhealthy weight when it comes to the lymph system? Like, do we have a conversation with our doctors? Like, what would be like a good first step to kind of get started?
I'll tell you my experience. A few years ago, I didn't know my shoulder repair had failed. So my shoulder was hanging, and for months I was getting pain. And then one night I started having I was having a heart attack. Went to the doctors. They say you're fine. I went to a cardiologist. I always gave them my information that I published work on missed science being the root cause of disease to the doctors I go to prepare them. And he said he gave it to his daughter who's in med school. And she's like, Dad, how come we don't know this information?
Oh, wow.
So understand, your doctors, is not their fault. It's the system's fault. Your doctors learn it was never a system that was in their understanding. So they learned a 15-minute course on the lymphatic system. And most doctors I've talked to said, John, I would leave that class saying, whoa, that's a system I don't know what to do with. No one knows what to do with. But that's not true. We can manually and gain control over this system with what we eat, what supplements we take, how we breathe, how we move, and we're missing it. And it's affecting every single one of us. Even I have people who are very active, they're runners, they're still getting toxic because their lymphatic system got overwhelmed at some time in their life. And it's a system, it's a plumbing system. It could just be stuck. And that's why we want to take care of it. I'm also a medical intuitive. I work with people over the phone. I can tell them where they're backed up. Trust me, I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I knew nothing about energy work but you're in this field long enough, it happens. But in the beginning, I did a lot of research on clients, a lot. And I would see 6 to 8 clients a day and check their lymph system. Wow. And I had a client who I was working with, and something made me turn around, and I saw her leg, and it was through a sheet, and I saw these iridescent lines. And when I touched it, it was lymph flow. And ever since that time, I can never see that again. But I can just talk to people and let them know where they're backed up. And more importantly, I can open it up and they feel it in their body. It's really remarkable.
Yeah. Now you mentioned like there's something that we can do.
Yeah. Let's learn. The first thing is the Lymph Man shoulder shuffle. Just so you guys don't know, I'm Lymph Man, right? Because Ossipinsky is a little hard to get off the tongue. So if you want to look me up, it's just Lymph Man. And because these vessels are right here, people are often, when this backs up, we get tight in our neck, right? Yes. So people are always doing this. That only stretches the neck muscles. We need to open up the major lymph drain to allow that to flow. So what we're going to do is sit straight. We're going to put your hands on your lap. Keep your head straight. Don't keep it going back and forth. And we're just going to raise one shoulder up, the next shoulder up. And we do that slow at first if you have a little bit of shoulder problem. But if you don't have a shoulder problem, do it a little faster. Just do it. No, do it a little more, Pamela. Come on, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. There you go. And that's it. I mean, I'm getting tingles in the back of my body, my legs, my shins, in the back of my head is itchy. Now I'm going to show everybody how to open up the major lymph vessels here, right? And I normally don't show this because some people could be pretty sick, and once they open this up, they may feel it. So just make sure you don't do this too often at first. You put your fingers right over your clavicle. Your clavicle is the bone right here in the front. You put your fingers against the trapezius, which is the muscle in the back, not on top of it, but just against it. Your fingertips are against it. And we pump down very gently, pump and release, pump and release. And we do that 5 to 10 times. And already I want to take a deep breath. I just did that 3 times, right? Don't you feel a little different?
Yeah.
So imagine if you learned.
I have a question. You mentioned your head was getting itchy. Mine did too. Why does that happen when we did that?
We're actually creating circulation. Most people take a blood thinner, an aspirin regime, hoping to get circulation moving in their body. We just did it in 30 seconds. But imagine if you knew how to do a whole 8-minute or a 12-minute routine. Here, part of this course, we do an intro. I'm giving you guys $50 off. It's really worthwhile. And I made this intro course because some people can't afford my mentoring. So I wanted to help everybody. So this is an 8-minute routine they learned that was really in my main course. And I pulled it out and did this. And so if you don't know how to dry brush or have been frustrated, I put together a good full routine that you will feel in your body. I also go through the explanation of the lymph system and a little bit, but that's our basic one, which everybody should have. And then of course we have our full program, which is 50 activities, 3 months with me. That really is, you learn how to maintain your life, because I do it. I maintain my life. If I wasn't maintaining my life on a regular basis, I'd have major health problems. So I show people in our inner circle how I live my life. 3 days a week, I get on a Facebook Live for a few minutes and drain myself or talk about what I'm doing. And then once a week, we do a 1 hour where we answer questions and go over course material and new things. Last week, we just learned about the thymus and how taking zinc could actually affect the thymus, which normally shrinks as we age. It's meant to help infections and build your immune system, but it fills with fat as we age. To me, it's because the lymph system isn't cleaning it. It sits right here. And a study just came out saying, hey, take zinc and it actually will help your thymus come back to life. It was amazing. So it's all about circulation. Our organs are, again, not functioning properly. Our brain's not functioning, our digestion, because they don't have complete circulation. The lymphatic system is a whole secondary system that we're ignoring. Once we start addressing this system, and it's not rocket science, it's just myth science, your life changes.
Wow. Now you do have a gift for all of the participants. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I want everybody to understand this science, right? Because it is science that will change your life. So we put together a PDF, I think it's like 18 pages, but it's full of all the real science that you need to understand to know how to be aware of the lymphatic system. It affects your brain. It affects every organ. Again, we're a cellular being, and we don't treat our cells like we just treat it as a body. Well, we have cells that make up every bone, every tissue, everything in your body, and most of them are alive, and they need good nutrition. They need to get rid of their waste. And when their lymphatic system isn't working, your waste is filling up in your body. And that's what, again, science is finding is creating most disease. And COVID, especially with COVID, it manifests that. So everything that I published many years ago has been verified by the last few years of science coming out saying that there's a lot of diseases that are due to cellular waste. And then with COVID, oh man, so much science is coming out saying that COVID is going to lead to more diseases and many different types because of cellular waste. So it's a system that everybody needs to get control over if you want to have a healthier, happier life.
Yeah. So if you feel like that you're stuck, that you've been doing all the things, potentially it could be your lymphatic system just is backed up, correct?
That's it. And again, one little drain. I've had people who fall off horses or car accidents, and they just say since that time, they've never just get downhill. It could actually spasm your lymph system if you've had a big trauma. I had a girl who was a horse rider. She was in the Air Force Academy, and she was not doing well in the Air Force Academy. She was gaining weight, having pain. She couldn't get through it. Her parents contacted me. I educated her a little bit about diet and stuff and gave her a remote session. Her life changed within 1 or 2 days. She said I just opened up her system. She didn't have time to go through a course, but I changed her life. So if you've had trauma, you have to understand that it could just spasm your body and then you get stuck and this whole system doesn't work. So you learning how to maintain it and open it like we just did a little bit can make a big difference. And then again, if you want to get a few distance sessions with me, that's available. And in our big course, you get some sessions with me.
And your VIP gift is the introduction, correct?
Yes, that is the VIP gift that they will get a discount on that. Yes, for sure.
Great. So if you don't have the VIP ticket, there's still a chance to get it. Click that button down below. You'll get not only John's amazing VIP gift, but the other VIP gifts of the speakers. And if you feel like you've done all the things, you're doing all the things, but you just feel stuck, grab his free gift, grab that PDF, learn more about the lymphatic system. John, so happy to have you here today. Thank you so much. Do you have any words of encouragement for our participants before we hop off?
Yeah, number one, I want to thank you for what you do to educate people and just be aware of the lymphatic system. We can no longer ignore it. If you go to your doctors and say, do you think this might be associated with my lymphatic system? They're going to look at you and just turn away because they're not sure. And I can tell you that every disease is probably due to the lymphatic system not clearing cellular waste, and your life will change. Again, we don't cure people. We just teach them how to have a healthier life, which brings them back to health. It's just crazy. How can we ignore a system that's meant to clean us?
Thank
Thank
you
you, Pamela.
You're welcome. Thank you. Have a great day. To your health. We'll catch you on the next broadcast.